Developing the Leader Within You 2.0 by John C. Maxwell Book Review. Hello friends, today I am going to review the book, Developing the Leader Within You 2.0 by John C. Maxwell. Strong leadership requires mastery of 10 basic capabilities. In the past, companies often failed to pay much attention to identifying and fostering leadership skills. Now, however, most firms understand that capable leaders make things better for the people they lead. Leadership development is, thus, a true business imperative. Developing yourself to become the leader you have the potential to be will change everything for you. It will add to your effectiveness, subtract from your weaknesses, divide your workload, and multiply your impact. Developing effective leadership abilities is challenging, but that challenge isn't the only reason that many people who could become leaders decide not to try. Often those who could lead, but don't think it's possible, succumb to some of these negative beliefs. 1. I'm not a born leader, so I can't lead. Leadership is not a function of your birth. 2. Of course, some people start out in life with an abundance of natural gifts and advantages that help them become leaders. 3. Nevertheless, anyone can become an effective leader with effort and hard work. 4. A title and seniority will automatically make me a leader. That's not how leadership works. 5. People won't line up to follow you because of your lofty position. 6. However, they will be loyal when they respect your abilities and actions. 7. Work experience will automatically make me a leader. No, it won't. 8. You may have decades of experience on the job, and you may handle your tasks with great skill, but none of that automatically makes you a leader. 9. I'll try to develop my leadership abilities once I'm appointed as a leader, not before. This is backward thinking. 10. Heed the words of the late John Wooden, famous UCLA basketball coach, who cautioned, when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. If you haven't already taken steps to develop yourself as a leader, now's the time to start mastering 10 fundamentals. Influence. Leaders must earn authentic authority. Influence, born of being respected, is the first and most essential leadership characteristic. You'll find influence at work in different forms at each of the 5 levels of leadership. Position. If you have a leadership position, people who report to you must follow you, whether you earn it or not. They have no other choice. Permission. People, in effect, give you the okay to lead them when they come to respect you and admire your work. They are happy to follow you of their own volition, because you have cultivated relationships and earned influence with them. Production. People follow you and yield to your influence for a simple reason. You are a productive leader who consistently gets results. People development. You have been able to assist others in their work and career paths, and that gives you substantial influence. Pinnacle. You're at the top of your organization or your field, and by now you've amassed powerful influence because of who you are and what you represent. Without influence, you can't lead anyone, and if no one is following, you aren't leading, you're just taking a walk. Martin Luther King Jr. was a leader. So was Abraham Lincoln. They had followers, and thus they had influence. Indeed, they still do. As a leader or potential leader, it's important for you to understand that everyone influences someone. Tim Elmore, CEO of the leadership development nonprofit Growing Leaders, asserts that even a totally introverted person will influence 10,000 inches different individuals over the course of his or her lifetime. With this fact in mind, you might want to consider how many people you will influence. Most people don't know what impact they've had on others. Author John Maxwell remembers that his 7th grade teacher, Glenn Leatherwood, encouraged him to pursue his lifelong calling as a writer. Therefore, Leatherwood's teaching had a lasting impact on Maxwell's thousands of readers. Leadership is influence. Maxwell also recalls that, when he was a child, his mother bought bubble lights for the family Christmas tree. To this day, he associates bubble lights with Christmas. To him, you can't have one without the other. That's influence. He says that building your influence today is one of the strongest investments you can make in your professional future. Judgment. Leaders must be able to manage their time by setting priorities. No one ever has enough time, and people can't really manage time. Management implies control, but everyone gets the same allocation, 24 hours a day. No one can change that. However, you can control how you spend your time by setting your priorities. When you prioritize your activities, you can get more done each day. Those who find it difficult to do things in order of importance may actually be having trouble determining what is most important in their lives. Extensive self-analysis can help if you're not sure what counts most in your job and in your life. Once you figure out what matters, you can prioritize accordingly. You can choose or you can lose. Proactive means choosing. Reactive means losing. Successful prioritization depends on mature acceptance of the fact that you can't have it all. So figure out what counts most in your life, and direct your time and efforts accordingly. Character. Leaders must have an ethical foundation and good character. Leading ourselves is often the most difficult task we face each day. It's much easier to tell others what to do than to reshape your own behavior and actions. As the head of the Catholic Church, a pope must be a wise and agile leader, like Pope Francis. One of his priorities has been championing character formation for church leaders. He cautions those who want to lead to avoid the 15 character problems, or as he calls them, diseases, that can beset leaders. They are. Some leaders think they're indispensable. No one is. Some leaders fall prey to busyness. This is a recipe for stress. Planning too much inevitably leads to inflexibility. A lack of coordination results in inadequate cooperation. Your leadership will deteriorate if you fail to show gratitude to people who've nurtured you in the past. Mental rigidity or petrification leads to heartlessness. The main faults the Pope sees in fallen leaders are rivalry and vainglory. Leaders must be authentic. Those who live hypocritical double lives put themselves in a state of existential schizophrenia. Leaders who lack courage often go on the attack against their peers and others with gossiping, grumbling, and backbiting. Leaders without character attempt to secure the favor of their higher-ups with flattery and false idolization. Weak leaders are often indifferent to the people they lead. Followers can't draw inspiration from severe leaders with downcast faces. Weak leaders often accumulate numerous possessions to try to make themselves feel more secure. A closed circle of leaders can become an unproductive clique. Weak leaders often fall prey to extravagance and self-exhibition. Change management. Leaders know how to be agile and create positive change. Most of the time when people experience change, particularly in businesses and organizations, they are not alone in the process, but they do often feel that way. And their emotions can overwhelm them. Positive change always involves trade-offs. You trade one way of doing things for a better way. Your job as a leader is to convince others to make such trades, and that can be difficult. As poet Ralph Waldo Emerson put it, for everything you gain, you lose something. As leader, you must convince people that what they'll gain from the change you are advocating will outweigh what they'll lose. Problem-solving ability. Leaders see problems as opportunities. In his book The Road Less Traveled, author M. Scott Peck cites a great truth, that life is difficult. He argues that once people accept the fact that life is truly difficult, it actually stops being as hard. Most leaders are either entering a crisis, in the middle of a crisis, or just resolving one. Problem solving amounts to eliminating life's difficulties. Things will go better when you hit a snag if you view problems as opportunities, according to CEO Mark Cole. Think of Cole's problem-solving strategy as the pragmatic approach. Attitude. In life and leadership, a good attitude is crucial. Ask people what 5 primary characteristics they most admire in others, and most often they will refer to attributes that relate to attitude. For example, many survey respondents called on leaders to be positive, tenacious, and hopeful. A good attitude is an extra plus in life. It makes our lives better. And it also makes our leadership better, because leadership has less to do with position than it does disposition. Maintaining and exhibiting a positive attitude is particularly crucial for leaders because their followers will adopt their approach. Author and pastor Charles Swindoll explains, "Attitude, to me, is more important than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do." Servant leadership. Serving others is a core value. Author John Maxwell spent 26 years as a church pastor, charged with serving other people's spiritual needs. However, in his early years as a church leader, Maxwell says he almost never thought of serving others. Instead, he focused on accomplishing big goals and on moving up within the church hierarchy. Maxwell says that his initial attitude was typical, rooted as it was in top-down leadership models. However, he was greatly influenced by motivational speaker Zig Ziglar, who taught a seminar with the message, "If you help people get what they want, they will help you get what you want." This idea opened Maxwell's eyes. Since that day, he writes, he's gone out of his way to serve others, a concept that is now familiarly referred to as servant leadership. Vision. Leaders give their teams a sense of purpose and mission. Leadership depends on vision. Leaders without vision operate in the dark, and so do their teams. Without a leader's vision, a team eventually loses its energy and sense of direction. Members begin to focus on themselves, stop being team players, and eventually move on to other organizations. What you can see determines what you can be. A leader who has a positive vision of the future can inspire a team and elevate ordinary work to a higher level. Self-control. Leaders must have the discipline to govern themselves before they can govern others. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself. This requires self-control. Former U.S. President Harry S. Truman described self-discipline as the initial victory people must win over themselves. You must travel within before you can travel without. This is particularly true for leaders, who must have self-discipline in order to lead others. The reason is simple. People don't want to follow someone who is out of control. Leadership is an ambitious journey, and you can't expect to take others a greater distance than you've traveled yourself. Personal growth. You can develop the experience and expertise to become a better leader. If we don't change, we don't grow. If we don't grow, we are not really living. Growth demands a temporary surrender of security. Personal growth leads to a better future. However, it also requires having a strategy for where you want to go and who you want to become. As you pursue your lifelong journey in personal growth, you will find that your abilities expand, and you become a better leader. You will learn a great deal. You will become more influential, more decisive, more disciplined, and more positive as your leadership character develops. You will become a better problem solver. And you will become a better, more complete person. Takeaways. 1. Strong leadership requires mastery of 10 basic capabilities. 2. Influence. Leaders must earn authentic authority. 3. Judgment. Leaders must be able to manage their time by setting priorities. 4. Character. Leaders must have an ethical foundation and good character. 5. Change management. Leaders know how to be agile and create positive change. 6. Problem-solving ability. Leaders see problems as opportunities. 7. Attitude. In life and leadership, a good attitude is crucial. 8. Servant leadership. Serving others is a core value. 9. Vision. Leaders give their teams a sense of purpose and mission. 10. Self-control. Leaders must have the discipline to govern themselves before they can govern others. 11. Personal growth. You can develop the experience and expertise to become a better leader. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.